Well, hello and welcome along to what will be a pretty quick fire match day 2 Premier League prediction show today. Of course, as I announced last week with the first episode, thank you so much for the incredible support with it. We're going to preview each Luton game this season in the Premier League, and we're also going to do quickfire Premier League predictions at the end of it. Well, of course, this weekend, the first planned Luton home game has been called off. I'm sure most of you know it and have had your view on it by now. The stadium, ironically, is almost ready. But we're not going to have a Luton game to reflect on this week. But I couldn't just leave you for the other 9 games, especially after so many of you kindly got involved last week. So today I'm going to come back, we'll reflect on our match day 1 predictions, and we'll go and have a quick go at match day 2 as well. So as always, come and get involved in the comments. Let me know what you think the scores will be. But firstly, let's have a quick recap of match day 1 and see what happened in the Premier League. Because in terms of outcomes, I wouldn't say there was a huge number of shocks. The teams that were expected to win generally won, and it was just a few of those games that we had settled by either a goal either way or as a draw that surprised us. Of course, the big one that I got wrong was Newcastle Aston Villa. On another day, that could have been a very different scoreline, but the fact of the matter is, Newcastle were ruthless and they won it by 5-1. We send our best wishes to Tyrone Mings as well for his serious injury. We also had the pretty chaotic end to the match day, didn't we, with Manchester United, well, let's say getting away with one. I think we all acknowledge it should have been a pen, as have the PGMOL, but they nicked a 1-0 win against Wolves, which made it 5 correct outcomes for me. Many of you beat me down in the comments, but I was a minute away from a perfect score on the first Luton game. I almost previewed it perfectly, but Rob Edwards, he did what he did in the Championship. He went aggressive, he chased the game, and unfortunately, it meant we conceded a 4th. But we'll talk a bit more about that next week, because there's been a lot of talk about it. Very differing reports from BBC and Sky and other outlets. So we'll do a full Luton review of the Brighton game and a look ahead to the Chelsea game in next week's video. But for now, let me give you my quick fire predictions for match day 2 in the Premier League. Of course, just 9 matches this weekend. Play along down in the comments. Most of you did pretty well and better than me last week. A number of you got 7 or 8 points. Many of you 1 perfect score as well. But can anyone get 2 perfect predictions this week? Well, this is what I've gone for on match day 2. Nottingham Forest to win the Friday night game 2-0 at home to Sheffield United. Forest's home record was brilliant last year. Sheffield United offered next to no attacking threat at home to Palace. Fulham v Brentford, I've gone for 2-1 to the visitors just because Fulham were fortunate against Everton, were carved open a number of times, and Brentford have got better attacking quality at the minute. I feel Fulham are still a little unsettled off the pitch as well, so I've gone for Brentford to nick that. Liverpool-Bournemouth, I'm not going for 9-0 this year, but I do think Liverpool will win it comfortably. Bournemouth, they were decent on the opening day, but Liverpool on another day could have scored a couple more, and at home I think they'll just have too much. Wolves-Brighton, I've gone for an away win by 2-1. Brighton were very good going forward against Luton, but a little vulnerable at times at the back. But Wolves, unfortunately, have the same issue as Luton, which is they don't have a proven Premier League goal threat. Luton's may come in time. Wolves probably need additions to address that, but they were very encouraging against Manchester United. Did very well on the ball. Maybe Gary O'Neill is going to spring another surprise. Tottenham v Man United, I've gone for 1 goal apiece. Same old problems defensively for Spurs, and of course, since we recorded the matchday 1 predictions, Harry Kane has left for Bayern Munich. United, well, we all say it, they got out of jail, didn't they? Manchester City v Newcastle, I've gone for a 2-0 home win. I don't feel Newcastle are going to be quite the same away from home. And Villa did open them up a few times last week. Manchester City were very good against Burnley, but they themselves aren't always the most consistent the first 6 to 8 weeks. So I feel like it's going to be a more modest scoreline than some may predict. For Aston Villa-Everton, I've gone for a 2-0 home win. Everton, I don't know where the goals are coming from. They could play the worst team in the league. I mean, how they didn't get a goal against Fulham, I'll never know. But there's just no goal threat at the moment. That's going to take a little while. Good signing of Jack Harrison on loan, though. For Villa, they play better than the scoreline suggests against Newcastle, and at home to a relegation threatened side, I think they'll win pretty comfortably. For West Ham v Chelsea, I've gone for 1-0. Chelsea again missed chances against Liverpool. They had their moments where they were open at the back, but there were encouraging signs under Pochettino, and seeing them working hard with a youthful midfield will be something that was very pleasant for Chelsea fans, I think. There's still the rumour mill of 1,000 signings going around, and they still haven't got a goal scorer yet. So we'll wait and see how that plays out, but I do think West Ham might nick one from a set piece and hold on. Good signing for them getting James Ward-Prowse in. They've got that dead ball delivery now. Crystal Palace Arsenal is the final game on Monday, and I have gone for an Arsenal win. I know in the second half they weren't great defensively against Forest. I know that Jury and Timber obviously went off injured. I was watching it from the Brighton concourse last week. But Crystal Palace, while they dominated the game at Sheffield United, they didn't take enough of their chances. And if you go back to Roy's previous spell, they did tend to struggle a little bit more at home to break teams down. So Arsenal on the break, on the counter away from home, I just think will be too strong. So those are my predictions for match day 2. You agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know your predictions for each game too. Of course, we will be back with a full-length episode early next week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, as we look ahead to the full weekend fixture list for match day 3. Friday night football for Luton for the next couple of weeks. We'll come back to look ahead to that one. But thank you very much for watching this slightly different quickfire episode. If you enjoyed it, please do add a thumbs up. A big shout out to HelloFresh, who have supported and partnered with us for the whole of August. Link in the description for a discount code there. And do check out our Championship predictions, which came out yesterday, and our League One Shorts predictions, which will be out later. That and all of our pre-season predictions are up in the eye above. Thank you very much for watching as always. Subscribe to stay up to date with everything. We'll see you back here very soon to look ahead to Luton's trip to Chelsea on match day 3.